let's start. We'll do EU balance patch first, and then we follow it up with the Russian balance patch, because they both developers have apparently released balance patches. So let's start by checking out the EU development blog. Balance changes. Public test 12.1. We're applying balance changes to the following ships based on an analysis of both their combat statistics as well as player feedback. Austin, ZF6, Tashkent 39, as well as the Pan-Asian cruisers. The changes will be applied on public test for update. They will be applied on the public test, so there won't be live 12.1, but they will be on the public test to test. And right now, what are we at? We're at 12.9, so it's the upcoming PTS. So we will be able to test this very soon. Austin. Main battery reload time reduced. 8 to 7.5. Main battery reload booster consumable reload reduced. Okay, well this is kind of irrelevant, but this is actually quite nice. This is a fairly significant damage output buff. Austin is, of course, not really the best tier 10 cruiser. It's got the gimmick with the sap burst, which is funny. You do a lot of damage, and you kill a lot of broadside ships with it. But generally speaking, without the reload booster active, your ship is kind of a meme. So making it a bit stronger without it active and reducing the cooldown on it a bit, it's a nice change. It's a nice change. PTS is live today at 6:30 p.m. CST. I'm not gonna have time to test it today though. I'm going climbing today with my friend in the evening, and I think it's gonna be roughly around the time when PTS opens. So I'll check it out tomorrow. ZF6. Main battery reload time reduced. 4 to 3.8. Wait, and 180 degree turn time reduced 18 to 10. ZF6 buff though. That's surprising. That's one of the best dockyard ships. That thing is really good. That's gonna be even better. Like 4 to 3.8 might not sound like a big deal, but it's still a 5% DPM buff. Also, the turret traverse makes it much comfier to play now. I mean, the thing with ZF6 is that most people have no idea how to play the thing. They insist on shooting HE and shit, but that's a common DD mistake, honestly. People do that in the Daring, people do that in this thing, people do it in the Z52, people even do it in the Elbig. They shoot HE for some godforsaken reason, when what you want to do is load AP and pop reload booster and just absolutely decimate other ships. So, this is surprising to me, but I guess this thing, we're gonna see more of this thing in ranked, I'm pretty sure, after these changes, because it's pretty damn good. Tashkent 39. Is someone playing that thing? I mean, interesting buff, but isn't Tashkent more of a gunboat? I'm not sure how much of a change this will make. Chungking. Base hull main battery reload time reduced. 10.5 to 9.9. So they're buffing the Pan-Asian tier 5. That's nice and all. But I mean, no one plays low tiers anymore. Mostly because Wargaming slaps them into early access and you basically earn the tier 6 or 7 for free. You don't really need to do much, and then they want you to pay for the rest. So the entire low tier is always skipped. But I mean, I guess it's nice that they're buffing them. Quite a meme of a ship. Rahmat, 7.5 to 7. Better range. Wait, 1 km range flat. Main battery shell ballistics have been changed. The firing arcs will now be flatter. Okay. The firing arcs will now be flatter. Champon, 6.5 to 6.1. That's a pretty good buff. 13.2 to 41 km range and flatter arcs. Really? Are they going to do this for the entire line? Harbin, pretty small buff, but still a buff. But the range buff is nice. Flat arcs. Okay, wait, let me cover them all first. Main battery reload, 4.8 to 4.5. 15 km range. Flatter arcs. 3. Really, Jinan buffed? I thought Jinan was pretty strong already. 3 to 3.2. This is actually percentually one of the biggest buffs in this entire... Like, it might not look like the biggest buff because the number seems small, but percentually, this is probably the biggest buff of them all, because the This is what, 6.66% or something in terms of almost 7% DPM buff. So that's actually pretty huge. Range 15.5. 6.25, is that much? Main battery shell ballistics have been changed. Okay, this is either gonna be really, really good, or it might be not that great. I will have to see, because one of the main great features of the Jinan. Now, I like Jinan. I think Jinan is really strong. You probably see in some of my YouTube games on Jinan. Like, this is one of those ships I feel like you get 300k damage games pretty often because it does so much. Like the torpedoes and the fire chance and just the farming capacity is insane. But I guess it was never really that new player friendly because it's got so little health pool and such poor range. So I guess giving them more range is going to make it easier for the average player to use. But this flatter firing arc, upside is obviously easier to land shells, which is always good. And if you get the extra range, but you don't get flatter arcs, then the extra range is going to be wasted. You're going to end up in a Yodo situation where you have all this range, but you can't hit anything because your shells are so garbage. However, if the arcs are too flat, you run into this issue where you can't lobber islands, which could be a huge problem. So it depends on how flat it is. We need to test it. We need to test it. If it's a perfect balance of being able to lobber islands but still hit somewhat consistently, then it's going to be very, very strong. But if the firing arcs are too flat and you can't lobber islands like you normally do, then Jinan just blows up. Because that thing has what, 35k health with the health perk and very little armor. Can't heal much, and there's so much radar and torps and shit, and it doesn't even have hydro. Like, this thing gets blown up open water or even smoking in the open pretty goddamn easily, so you have to use terrain in the Jinan. So, yeah, we'll see how it plays. Hard to call now, we'll see how it plays. It seems interesting though. We'll see how it plays. I think someone gave me a... Yeah, this was it. Flight time Sejong and Jinan. Okay. This is the new. So this is old, this is new. This is old flight time, this is new. In comparison, this is Colbert. Okay, well, to be fair, if it can't even match Colbert's firing lines, then you can probably lobber islands pretty easily. If it can't even match Colbert, it's still slower than Colbert. Yeah, and here we have Harakaze, and this is Austin. Austin has much better shells. I mean that's it. It's a pretty small change. I think it's more of a correlation in change between the 1 km range increase. I think that's basically what it is. So the flight time stays roughly the same at what it was at the old tier. It's now at the new tier, almost, not quite. Yeah, I think it's mostly just to compensate. It's mostly to compensate for the increased range. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Should be fine. So 14.5 was already hard to hit with Jinan. Yeah, no, honestly it just comes across as a pretty significant buff. 14.5 for 15.5 is very nice. I mean, you're still gonna have to get pretty close, and you obviously the arc buff isn't strong enough to justify running range mod, so you're still running just like reload mod. No, we'll try it we'll try it on PTS. We'll try it on PTS probably tomorrow, and then I can give a more firm opinion on what I think of it. But the flat DPM buff is absolutely a clear buff, and the range buff is a clear buff. The arc buff looks like just a clear buff as well. So just a lot of Pan Asian Cruiser buffs. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so that was EU devlog. That was EU devlog. Now let's check out. Now overall, I thought the devlog was pretty good. Like general thoughts, I thought it was pretty good. Pan Asian Cruiser getting some buffs. Austin getting some buffs, Tashkin getting some buffs. I maybe don't understand the ZF6 buff though. This kind of comes across as the time when they buffed, like, was it Repulse or Renown or whatever? I think it was Repulse. It kind of reminds me of the time when they buffed Repulse, and it's like, why would you buff that thing? And this is kind of the same vibe. Why are you buffing this thing? Like 18 to 10 second turret traverse is huge because you go from roughly cruiser turret traverse to basically destroyer turret traverse. It's a gigantic like leap in player comfort, so it's a huge buff. So yeah, no, ZF6 is very the buff is questionable. I mean, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's really nice for if you have it, but just questionable. Then we have the ZF6 on EU. Let's see. There's ZF6 because you're running reload with fucks with your turret traverse, but it's a percentage base. So the higher the base percentage, the worse the penalty of running this thing is. So right now we got a 20.7 second turret traverse. But after the patch, if we're gonna have 10% base and we're gonna have minus 13% penalty, we're gonna have 11.3. So our benefit here is 9.4 seconds. No, 8.4 seconds, sorry. Is gonna be our benefit. So it's scaling higher. So it's not, we're not gaining 8 seconds, we're getting 8.4. And now if you run a you're not even gonna need to run turret traverse on it. You can get away with not running turret traverse on it. So that actually frees up a captain point. Because right now you kind of want turret traverse on the ZF6 because 20 seconds is garbage. Or alternatively you wanted to run like main battery traverse on it or something. You don't need to do any of those things now. You can get away with not doing it. So yeah. That's gonna be really good. I don't know why exactly they buff it, but sure. Well, whatever. Anyway, so that was EU. Generally good. ZF6 buff questionable, but okay. Honestly, I'd rather fight ZF6s than radar ships in ranked anyway. Let's see. Now we have the Russian devlog. Blog Korabli. They're also doing a 12.1 ship balancing patch, which is interesting. Okay, and based on an analysis of their combat effectiveness and your feedback. Okay, Max Immelman. The maximum HE bomb damage of topmast bombers has been reduced from 11 to 10.5. The probability of igniting HE bombs, so fire chance, 63 to 60. The preparation time of bombers has been increased from 64. So they nerfed the damage, they nerfed the fire chance, and they nerf their prep time. Okay, so Russian, it's very small, but they're actually nerfing carriers on Russia, so okay. Tentative thumbs up, tentative thumbs up. It is a tweezers type of, we're gonna take the smallest amount of shit away. This reminds me of the time when they nerfed, was it Kremlin Sigma by, what was it, 0.05 or something? it reminds me of that time. Okay. St. Louis. Oh, the reload time for the main battery guns has been reduced from 11 to 10.5. Detection from ships has been reduced from 14.5 to 13.8. So 700 meters conceal, which with concealment module is actually going to be pretty nice, and a small DPM buff. That's pretty nice. Because St. Louis isn't that good. It's kind of ish. It doesn't feel as good as Charles Martel, and it's far away from the Henry. It's kind of stuck in that weird middle ground. So buffing St. Louis, I approve of this. Honestly, this thing mostly feels like a victim in random, so buffing this is good. So wait, they buffed Dahlia. Is that torpedo? The torpedo reload has been reduced from 90 to 85. Firing range has been increased from 13.5 to 41. Okay, so small buff. Vallejo. That was the surprisingly flat arc tier 9. Was it Steel Ship Farmer? The amount of damage restored to the Citadel has been increased from 10 to 33%. Okay. Vallejo is, honestly, I've never found it to be that. It's kind of like a kiting HE spammer that is... I mean, considering Overmatch just screws you up in this thing, this is fine. Numancia, the reload time for main budget guns has been reduced. The reload time series Salva. So they buff the main guns by a fair bit, the whole second actually. And the salvo has also been reduced. Admiral Hipper. Whoa, they're buffing Hipper? My god, they're actually going around buffing all these old ships. This is crazy. The reload time for main budget guns has been reduced from 10.5 to 10. Detection has been reduced from 13.8 to 13.5. Not exactly a big buff. That's 300 meters, and that's half a second. But honestly, just the fact that they're willing to do this, because like Hipper has been garbage for a really long time. Hipper has been really garbage for a really long time. It's one of the most anemic feeling cruisers in the game these days because it has so poor damage output. The AP is nice, but you got no improved pen angles or anything. So them list actually buffing this shit is nice. And for some reason, Wargaming, I don't know why Wargaming still insists on this line having ship-based ASW. It sucks to play this line with subs in the game. It sucks. Because ship-based ASW on heavy cruisers is a joke. Also, there's the fact that the ASW doesn't do any damage. I mean, do I need to show that clip of Gang sailing under a ruin, being death charged, and sailing through all the death charges and losing like half his HP? Like, they don't do any damage either. It's garbage. It's really garbage. Nottingham, reload time for main guns has reduced to 13 to 12. Anchorage buff. Okay, that's good because Anchorage is really bad. I don't like Anchorage at all. It's this shitty, weird, heavy cruiser in a smoke thing. It reminds me of Gibraltar. They're both like garbage. But it does nothing. But now it's got a fairly sizable 1 second reload buff. Wukong, a gap has been added to the one slot with defensive air. Wait, well, gap? Does that mean Hydro? Gap is Hydro, I think. Yeah, it's Hydro. So they're giving Wukong Hydro. Nice. Okay. That probably makes it. So it's same as Loyang, 5-5. That helps it a fair bit. I mean, the Wukong is still garbage, one of the worst premiums in the game. But hey, at least they're buffing it. P-back. The reload time for main battery guns has been reduced from 11 to 10. The amount of damage restored to the Sita has been increased from 10 to 33. P-back was already pretty damn tanky. I tend to call it an AP Atago. It's gonna be really good now. That's actually really nice. I mean, I'm glad they're... I never thought it was overpowered. It used to be busted. I remember that was one of my main times when Wargaming pissed me off. I made a vid on the P-bag when it was work in progress and said this ship is pretty damn busted. Wargaming waited until we posted our vids, and then the day before the release, literally the evening before the release of the patch, they nerfed the ship. So all our fucking vids became irrelevant, and all our vids became misleading as fuck. And it made me so fucking mad. And then I had to listen to a bunch of fucking apes going, I remember when Flamu called the P-bag good, and then it came out, and it wasn't good. Like, that shit tilted the hell out of me. And it was all, of course, Wargaming fucking us up the ass. But yeah, they nerfed on the same the evening before the release, they nerfed the concealment by something like 1 kilometer, and they nerfed the turret traverse an insane amount. It used to have really fast turrets, and then they fucked it up the ass. And but I mean, now or at least on Russia, now they're buffing this thing. Salmon, reload time nerf, concealment nerf. What is it? Reserve? So, is this oxygen? The amount of battery you have. Also nerf. Okay, that's good. So they're nerfing subs, and they're nerfing CVs. They might not be big nerfs, but I like the direction. Because this is a direction Wargaming is still fucking afraid to go into. Like, they're pretty fucking insignificant nerfs, but hey. Well, Collingwood, this thing is garbage. The reload time of repair team consumable has been reduced from 60 to 40. The amount of damage restored to the Citadel has been increased from 10. It gets a cruiser? Cruiser Citadel restore on a 40-second heal. Oh, shit. Okay. Okay, that's pretty big. That's actually pretty big. It might actually be semi-tanky now. I'm not sure I'd ever run it into Sinop still, like in Tier 7 Ranked or something, but that's a nice change, because Collingwood is garbage. That's a nice change. Trying to make up for having no armor. Yeah, exactly. Renown. Time for turning main battery guns by 180 degrees has been reduced by 45 to 30. Of course, it's a new battleship. It has to have 30-second turret reverse. I remember when it was considered a skill to manage your turrets in a battleship, you had to have your guns prepared for potential threats. You have to pre-turn your guns, and you had to plan ahead your moves. I think this was called something like a thinking man's action game, where you needed to plan ahead with all these things. And then Wargaming was like, okay, our player base is too dented for this, and our battleships are whining too much, so we're just gonna give every fucking new BB in the game a 30-second turret reverse, so even the biggest ape on their fucking Xbox controller can fucking figure out how to turn their guns in time. Because at one point, when like you had Yamatos with like 1 minute turret reverse, or Warspites with 1 minute turret reverse, and they had no map awareness, and you just see their guns pointed to the left and a fucking DD coming out from the right, and it was like golden retrievers being hit by trucks. Like it was tragic. And no, I understand why they did this. I understood why they made this change. It was for the benefit of the player base, but it's New York. The reload time for main battery guns has been reduced from 30.5 to 30. Okay, I'm glad they're buffing the New York, but bro, this is not enough. New York is garbage. New York is so... I haven't played New York in 2 years, and it was garbage 2 years ago. I can only imagine how garbage it is now. It's got to be desperately garbage now. Daring. The firing of the main battery guns when using the basic hull module has been increased from 8.1. That's really nice. Wait, tier 3 there? Huh? What is this? Is this the Dersky? This is the Dersky. I was like, hold on. But this is basic hull, so this means stock. I like when they buff stock ships, because I never liked when you get a new ship and then the stock ship is completely garbage and the upgraded ship is okay, because obviously that ship almost forces you to spend free XP or suffer for a really, really bad ship. Even worse was when you went from a fully upgraded ship to stock ship and you downgraded despite moving up a tier. So them buffing stock ships is really good. Japanese aircraft carriers and hybrid ships. The visibility of torpedo bombers has been increased from 7.5 to 10. That's all of them! That's so good, because it's so broken. Like, that's one of the worst things about fighting IG and CVs is those torpedo bombers that, by the way, do fucking citadel damage and smash you for 1,000,000 damage. They will pop up, literally, on your broadside, especially because of rendering delay. They'll pop up at fucking 7 kilometers, so you don't even have time to prepare for the incoming strike in any fucking way, because they're as stealthy as a fucking destroyer. So, what they're doing now is a huge fucking nerf to their concealment, actually giving the players some time to prepare for the incoming strike, angle against them. But so, yeah, this is great. This is fucking great. Shame this shit doesn't happen on EU, but you can tell that the Russian server is struggling with players now, because they're actually willing to do things people have been begging for fucking ages. My god, that's incredible. Aegir and Siegfried. Airstrike GB parameters have been improved to standard for the level. Wait, what? Didn't these things have some retarded, dogshit, dumb fucking wargaming bullshit reason that these things were 7 km? Yeah, these were 7 km ASW range. For some reason, because basically fuck you, that's why. And now they changed that. Oh, isn't what's the default range? The default range is... Shit, can we get a tier 9 cruiser in here? Let's see, Riga. I think the default is... This one has 7 as well. Wait, was it the damage? Was it the damage? I think it was something. How much damage did it do? 4.2. How much does the Aegir do? 1.6! What? No way it was that bad. 1.6 alpha. Holy shit. Wonder what Alaska does. Where the fuck is Alaska? .2, yeah. Everyone else has 4.2. But the Germans, for some fucking reason, has 1.6 alpha. Oh my god. I can't, but once again, this is only happening in Russia. And EU, for some reason, Wargaming is still, oh yeah, it's perfectly fine that with 3 bombs you do the same damage as we do with 1. Okay, well that's really nice. Cataluna, Andalusia, and Castilla. Secondary battery shell damage increased from 1.5 to 1.8. Okay. They get 3 bombs though, so the damage is slightly misleading. Slightly, but not much. Slightly, but not much, because you have, like, bro, you have 1,600 times 3 here. 4.8. That's as much as 1 bomb, and Alaska and these are dropping 2 bombs for 4.2, which is 8.4k. You're still doing half the damage. And even worse if you get fucking... No, it's just garbage. It's garbage. You're doing half the damage, basically. No, this is a complete meme. Complete meme, because you're dropping 2 with these 2 bombs in payload. But yeah, no, that's a really good buff for them. Because I don't know why this is still like this on EU. They should have been fixed ages ago. But then again, Wargaming is perfectly happy with Hindenburg and Rune having ship-based ASW, despite being some of the biggest and clunkiest cruisers in the game. These things are supposed to sail up to a submarine and drop ship-based ASW. Okay. Nice fantasy Wargaming, sure. But again, this was a really good deadlock. This was a really good patch block. I wish EU, Wargaming, you see what they're doing? Copy it, okay? Copy it. You see this? You see this nerfing carriers, nerfing subs, buffing old garbage ships, nerfing subs some more, nerfing dumb fucking shit like planes being fucking as stealthy as destroyers. You see this shit? Buffing stock ships, buffing old garbage ships. You fucking watching what I'm watching here? Copy this. And fixing retarded shit that should have been fixed ages ago? Copy it, Wargaming. This is what it should look like. I should be happy. I should be looking at your balance notes and go, yes, what a great change. This is exactly what I wanted to see. That should be my reaction. My reaction shouldn't be, oh wow, we just added a nuclear fucking horseshit, dogshit, fucking carrier-based, submarine-based, flying, stealthy, smoke-laying, mine-laying piece of fucking Wargaming garbage into the game. That shouldn't be my reaction. My reaction should be, wow, you improved the game. Well fucking done. Why is it so difficult, man? Why is it so fucking difficult? Oh my god. I feel like we literally needed to see the Russian server lose enough players for them to actually start making the changes the players wanted. I'm pretty sure they know exactly the changes the players want. They're just not willing to do them until they're fucking starting to lose enough players that they're like, oh, well, shit, I guess we can't fuck them up the ass anymore. We need to apply lube first. So... have they fixed the problem that subs can see planes also 30 meters deep? You think they're gonna fix things like that? Good luck. Our spreadsheet shows. Yeah, Dutch cruisers are also still a tragedy. The fact that Dutch cruisers have no way of dealing with a submarine is a fucking joke. Like, you literally don't have ASW. And it's something to do with their garbage coding. Oh, wait, no, they added ship-based. Sorry, they added ship-based. At one point they didn't have anything, but they added ship-based. Like, Guten-Lewis. The idea that Guten-Lewis is supposed to sail up to a sub with 12.7 second fucking rudder shift and drop depth charges on it is honestly as fucking hilariously demented as the idea that the Hindenburg is supposed to sail up with 31.5 knots of speed, 800 meter turning circle, 12.1 rudder shift, and you're supposed to sail up to them to drop your shitty fucking depth charges on it? Please. Please, can you stop being so demented? Like, even DDs are being shotgun. How the fuck is a Hindenburg supposed to do this? The worst part is, they don't do enough damage. Because for some reason, ship-based ASW just doesn't do direct hits. So what you're actually doing is basically a third or even less of the actual damage you're supposed to. It is so bad. It is so bad. Like, look at this, look. You know, if anyone thinks ASW is in a good place, if anyone thinks like this is a ruin, this is a German submarine.
Running it at me.
Look at this. This is
Wicked.
Demented.
Wicked.
This is the biggest misplay you can make in a sub. This is the biggest misplay you can make in a sub. You're actually being ran down by a fucking German cruiser. This slow, honking piece of shit is actually running him down. This is probably the biggest misplay you can do in a sub. Actually getting caught here.
Nah, I live the depth charges.
And then you just sail through them.
Yeah,
And look, 700, 700, 700, 700, 700. And then you sail through.
0 damage. What? Bruh. What?
Blow up when someone does that.
What?
Just
Imagine thinking this is okay design, whereas the sub in return can with one shotgun kill the cruiser. Even if you manage to fucking corner him and get a perfect lineup of depth charges, it still doesn't kill you. It is demented. Absolutely demented. Absolutely demented. Completely demented.